All right, we're gonna move forward here. Like I said, the attacks have already begun. They attacked the fucking people evacuating in the airport the other day. It was a rocket strike. This is a few days old. I had to let it simmer because this is bothering me to high heaven. Millie should have you should have resigned in protest. You should have never allowed them to fucking abandon Bagram Air Force Base because it would have been a much better place to fucking pull this stupid ass botched retreat than it is now. We could have scuttled our equipment and not left anybody behind. But we shouldn't have never extended the goddamn deadline or been there fucking more than fucking a year anyway, because we found fucking Bin Laden in Pakistan, and we all knew Bin Laden was in Pakistan because all of our soldiers, when we were talking about it for 9 years before we found him in fucking Pakistan. This is fucking a disgrace.
Winning.
Everybody in this administration needs to be fucking held accountable. Leaving Americans behind to die, arming the world's fucking most savage and deadly fucking religious zealot militant group is a fucking, that's treason to me.
Winning.
No. Biden should be fucking held accountable for treason. His administration should be held. The press secretary, Nancy Pelosi, everybody that's currently in the federal government should be arrested for treason immediately.
That's how winning is done.
Even if like you should prove that, like, and then if you had nothing to do with this and you fought for it the whole time, that'll come out in court and you'll be good. But every member of our fucking federal government needs to be held accountable. They need to be removed, arrested, and tried for treason. Rocket struck the neighborhood near Kabul's international airport on Monday, part of ongoing violence in Afghanistan, where the Taliban has taken control of the country following the departure of U.S. forces. They gave names to the fucking Taliban.
Winning.
No. They gave Americans a list of the American treason.
You suck.
The rocket strikes on the Salimi Caravan neighborhood were followed by a gunfire, according to the Associated Press. The attack followed a U.S. drone strike on Sunday that targeted an imminent ISIS-K threat to the airport in Kabul, where officials have warned of additional attacks following the suicide bomb last month. Pentagon confirmed the airstrike on Sunday after multiple news organizations reported an explosion in a residential neighborhood near the airport. At U.S. officials said the airstrike Sunday hit a vehicle that included suicide bomber. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but you knew it was going to happen. You allowed it to happen. You told Americans to stay away, and you still allowed like people like the United Kingdom and British people and stuff, the allies, to come, and they got hurt.
You suck.
It was a second known airstrike against ISIS-K terrorists since the suicide bomber on Thursday killed 13 U.S. service members and more than 169 Afghans near a gate to the Kabul airport. Stop calling it fucking ISIS. This was the Taliban.
Stop.
The U.S. Embassy in Kabul had warned of a specific credible threat and urged those hoping to evacuate to leave the airport. See? This even covers what I was talking about, but we'll get into that next. President Joe Biden said Saturday that Kabul airport was highly likely to be the target of another attack before the August 31st withdrawal deadline. Rockets hit neighborhoods near Kabul airport amid U.S. pullout. Kabul witnesses say rockets have struck a neighborhood near Kabul's international airport amid the ongoing U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. The rocket struck Monday morning in Kabul's Salimi Kara neighborhood. Gunfire immediately followed the explosions, but it was immediately clear who was firing. A U.S. drone strike blew up a vehicle carrying multiple suicide bombers from the Afghan Islamic State affiliate on Sunday before they could attack the ongoing military evacuation at Kabul's international airport. American officials said. An Afghan official said 3 children were killed in the
winning. No. You suck.
The U.S. is a withdrawal from Afghanistan by Tuesday, and we botched that. We left, but we left people behind. We don't leave people behind.
Winning. No.
Former acting FEMA Administrator Robert Fenton Jr. will lead the Biden administration's effort to resettle refugees from Afghanistan. The Department of Homeland Security announced, yeah, we brought refugees from Afghanistan, but we left Americans behind.
You suck.
Fenton, who will reportedly direct the DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, will lead a broad range of operations to resettle Afghans, including immigration processing, COVID-19 testing, and isolating and securing permanent homes for refugees who are neither American citizens nor permanent residents, DHS said. The Department of Homeland Security is prepared to serve as they lead federal agency coordinated efforts across the federal government to welcome vulnerable Afghans to our nation in a way that is consistent with our laws and our values. Mayorkas said in the statement, Bob has dedicated his career to public service and has decades of experience managing complex and critical important missions. He will help lead his interagency effort with the incredible adaptness and high standards of honor and integrity ain't leaving the Americans behind, bringing tribalistic religious zealots.
Winning. No.
Fenton has a long history of responding to national disasters, including Hurricane Katrina in 2005, wildfires in California, and 9/11 terrorist attacks. He was acting FEMA administration during the president transition period 2017-2021. Istanbul, Turkey has signaled his willingness to help the Taliban develop Afghanistan, citing Turkey's experience, a large-scale construction and infrastructure project. He said, "We want to help on this point, but to help, the door needs to be open. That's why our intelligence is currently meeting Taliban representatives." So they're building alliances now. To speaking to journalists on the return flight from Montenegro, Erdogan stressed the importance of former Afghan President Hamid Karzai and his ex-chief executive Abdullah, who led talks with the Taliban. Both men remained in Kabul after the fall 2 weeks ago. This is a disaster. This is an unmitigated disaster. They're attacking. They're using our weaponry against our allies. You knew about it and didn't do nothing and allowed it to happen. You pulled out and left Americans behind. You're resettling non-Americans before evacuating Americans.
Winning. No. You suck.
This is a fucking disaster.
You suck.
The Taliban are building alliances with our enemies.
Winning. No. You suck.
They have our advanced weaponry.
Winning. No. You suck.
They were able to hold us off with, like, pitchforks and I'm just being facetious, but they barely had any military equipment at all. Now imagine what these ghost kids could do with the most advanced military equipment on Earth.
Winning. No. You suck.
Biden needs to be held accountable for this. Mark Milley needs to be held accountable for this. The entire government advisory board needs to...
That's how winning is done.
I don't know if Congress had a hand in this, but everybody that had a hand in extending the deadline and everything that led up to what's going on right now, they need to be held accountable and they need to be thrown in prison.
That's how winning is done.
I think that's a little too nice for them, but we're going to be the bigger men.
That's how winning is done.
I think they should be tried for treason, found guilty of treason, and given the appropriate punishment, but that's a different story. I'm just saying.